Blood Money, Part 4, The Ghosts of Eastgate. The waves off Singapore's coast rolled like liquid glass, calm, precise, and unbothered. But beneath that calm, something new was stirring, a current of money, data, and deception that never slept. 3 months had passed since the photo of Elijah Matthews surfaced, the man who was supposed to be dead, alive and smiling on a yacht. 3 months since Rachel Monroe had stared at that image until dawn, trying to decide whether she'd won or lost. Officially, the Ghost Ledger case was closed. The courts had filed their verdicts. The town of Havenbrook had gone back to pretending its nightmares were over. But Monroe knew better. Because ghosts don't vanish. They adapt. The message. It came at 2:14 a.m. Her laptop buzzed once, then twice. No sender, no subject. Just a single attachment, Eastgate Revival. When she played it, only static filled the air, until a distorted male voice bled through. If you're hearing this, it's already begun. Monroe's breath froze. She knew that voice. It wasn't Elijah Matthews. It was Ethan Cross. He'd disappeared weeks ago, after digging into his father's encrypted files. The FBI couldn't trace him, and Mia Ridge, the journalist, had gone dark too. But this message, this was something else. A warning. Or a confession. 2 days later, financial news tickers began whispering about a new offshore investment vehicle, the Eastgate Revival Fund. Nobody knew who ran it. Nobody could trace where its capital came from. Billions moved in and out of accounts that technically didn't exist. The fund operated in total darkness, a ghost wearing a corporate face. Monroe's partner, Detective Gary Lee, dropped a manila envelope on her desk. I pulled offshore filings from Panama, Belize, and the Caymans. Look at this. Inside, dozens of shell company records, all signed by one name, R. Langford. Monroe frowned. Who is he? British national, Lee said, lighting a cigarette. Financial strategist. Used to work for Riverside Capital. The name hit her like a slap. Riverside. Matthews' old firm. The same name on the tapes that brought Calloway down. Then Langford isn't new blood, she said quietly. He's the inheritance. A week later, news broke from the Philippines. A body had washed up along the Manila coastline. Male, mid-60s, European. The local report called it a boating accident. Interpol called it something else. Erased. Fingerprints melted by acid. Dental records mismatched. And in his pocket, a silver pen engraved with the initials EM. The world saw another nameless corpse. But Monroe saw a signature. She flipped the photo across her desk. Too deliberate, she muttered. Matthews never leaves evidence by accident. Lee exhaled smoke through his nose. So what do you think? I think, Monroe said, he just gave himself a decoy. Somewhere in Zurich, a server farm hummed beneath layers of concrete and silence. Rows of machines blinked like mechanical heartbeats, feeding on electricity and secrets. At the center sat Ethan Cross, unshaven, eyes red from sleepless nights. He wasn't hunting Matthews anymore. He was inside his world. Using stolen access keys from Calloway's old flash drive, Ethan had breached Eastgate's digital perimeter. Behind its encrypted firewall, he found something horrifying. Dozens of dormant accounts, all tied to the same root ledger structure that once powered the Ghost Ledger. But this time it wasn't static. It was learning. It was automating. An AI-driven financial algorithm that could erase or recreate entire transaction histories in seconds. A self-healing machine. He stared at the code, whispering to himself, "It's alive." Mia Ridge resurfaced a month later, pale, anxious, voice trembling through a late-night call. "He's in too deep," she said. Ethan found a pattern. Something Matthews built years ago, a protocol hidden inside the fund's transactions. Monroe's heart pounded. What kind of protocol? Ownership cycling. Every 72 hours, the fund transfers its assets through ghost corporations, then back again under new aliases. It's a laundering engine. But Ethan thinks there's more. He says it's rewriting identities. Identities? Yes, people. Digital passports, bank accounts, employment histories, all falsified through the same network. Matthews built a system that can resurrect anyone on paper. Monroe froze. Elijah Matthews didn't survive the collapse, she whispered. He rebuilt himself. Havenbrook had grown quiet again, the kind of silence that came before storms. Old storefronts boarded up, the courthouse light flickering at midnight. Monroe drove through town, headlights slicing through mist and memory. She stopped outside the derelict Matthews construction site, the birthplace of all their ghosts. Inside, the air tasted like rust and rain. Her flashlight swept across empty desks, peeling walls, and something glinting in the dust. A small glass cube. Inside it, glowing numbers rotated endlessly. No labels. No names, just motion. Lee stepped closer. What the hell is that? Monroe turned it in her hand, the glow reflecting in her eyes. The new ledger, she said. The ghost ledger's gone digital. Back in Zurich, Ethan traced a signal buried deep inside the Eastgate servers. An inactive account older than the fund itself that he decrypted it line by line until the owner's name appeared. Monroe Rachel A. Balance, $0.00 status, pending activation. He felt his stomach drop. Matthews wasn't just erasing identities, that he was writing new ones. He opened a secure call. Monroe, it's Ethan. You need to leave. Right now. He's watching you, he's making you part of it. The line crackled. Static. Then a voice that wasn't hers. Detective Monroe, Matthews said smoothly. Every ghost needs a successor. 2 weeks later, the yacht Erebus Venture departed Singapore under a false registry. Its owner of record, Langford, but security footage showed a different man boarding. Silver hair, linen suit, glass of wine in hand. Elijah Matthews, alive. Again. As the yacht drifted into international waters, a transmission pinged across a private satellite uplink. Cycle complete. Reinvestment approved. Commence Phase 5. In that instant, billions shifted hands across continents. Governments, corporations, and charities, all unknowingly part of a machine that fed on its own momentum. Money laundering had become self-sustaining, and Elijah Matthews was its architect. 3 days later, Monroe's desk sat empty. Her badge lay beside a resignation letter. On her monitor, an unsent email waited. To Mia Ridge subject, if I disappear, don't chase me. Chase the money. Her car was gone by dawn. Traffic cameras caught her heading east toward the coast. Then nothing. No sightings, no signals, no trail. But 1 week later, a deposit hit an unlisted offshore account under the name Rachel A. Langford. Mia Ridge sat alone in her apartment, typing her final article. The ghost ledger wasn't destroyed. It evolved. IT no longer needs paper, banks, or names. IT has algorithms now. It has heirs. She paused, staring at the blinking cursor. Her phone buzzed. One new email. Sender, unknown. Subject, welcome to the fund. Attached was a photo, a yacht at sunset. A man and woman stood side by side, glasses raised. The man was Elijah Matthews, the woman, Rachel Monroe. Beneath it, a single line. Every ghost needs a ledger. The screen flickered once, then went black, and somewhere across the open sea, the engines of the Erebus Venture roared softly against the wind, carrying with them the next cycle of rebirth, betrayal, and reinvestment. Because in Havenbrook, the dead don't stay buried. They just change accounts.